Okay, we're trying to test for user to see if user actually exists, right? If the user already exists in the database. So that's what we quickly want to test for. So we're going to create a variable, say let data, that is whatever we want to get from the user. We'll just use the await. Then we use the user model. For those of us that are having issues that may not understand the await method, you can check this once. For you to be able to use the await keyword, then you must have made this, your controller to be an async. So await is mainly used when you're trying to fetch something from the database. When you're trying to fetch things, you're trying to get something. So mainly in get request. So when you say await user model, now we're going to be finding one. So it's called find one. Find one. So we just find one from the database. That's what we want to do. So if we find one from the database, just going to return that record. Be careful not to use the word find, because if you use the word find, it's going to give you arrays of stuff that exists. But we don't want an array. We just want it to be like an object. So we're going to say find one. Is that okay? So if you say find, it's going to give you all. So what are we finding? We're finding by email, right? And we just do dot execute method. And we're going to see if the data exists. If the data exists, right? That is if data. So we're just going to create another case and say errors dots. They'll create another key called exists, and this is going to be the exists. We say user already exists. So that's what we're just going to put there. So we'll say user already exists, and boom, we are good to go. So this user already exists. If peradventure we are able to get anything out from this. So if you are not getting anything out, it means that the user doesn't exist. That means you can now make the register. So what we are going to do is just to console.log out to see what the user is. If there is no user, so control.log out the data. If there's no data, then we're just going to see now. And if there's data, it's going to print it out. So that is it. So quickly, let's try this out using our clients. So we go in here and we try to use this client. So this name has, I think, I'm not sure it has been registered, but let's just check that out. So if we hit this, we're going to wait. It said exist, user already exists. I'm just going to change this to typo. So user already exists, but let me try to enter a user that doesn't exist. So it doesn't matter the name. This is the only thing that has to be unique. Let's try to enter kelly@user.com. and see if we're going to get something like that. So message user registered successfully. Okay, Kelly registered successfully. That's because it doesn't exist before now. You can see that if I try to register that same username again, I hit this, I should be getting user already exists. Here we go, user already exists. So that validation has been able to help us to be able to tell if a user exists. So we just change this one to the right word, and that is it. So if there's any data, it will console. If there's no data, you just see something that looks, like, if there's any data, it brings it up, and if there's no data, it brings out an empty object. So that is it. So let's take this up. This is just for testing purpose. Now, the major reason why we are, I think, we should go straight to the next lesson. And the next lesson, we're going to be learning how to hash our password and save it into the database. Thank you very much. See you some other time. Bye for now.